Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a beautiful morning in the southeast United States, late summer. There's some clouds blowing through, but it's going to be a hot one. But we're going to get out here and ride this thing anyway. But before we do, I want to talk about tires and the Suzuki DR650. Now, the previous owner had installed these Tusk D-Sport tires on this bike. And if you've followed the channel, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of these tires. Now, I'm sure they're great tires in the right setting. You know, everything is a horses for courses type situation. I live about 30 to 40 miles from some amazing national forests, but that's 30 to 40 miles. And the roads going there are actually really nice. I want to enjoy them. And these tires, they don't allow me to enjoy it. You know, they're hard, they're really knobby. I've heard them referred to as a 50-50 on-road off-road tire, but gosh, I just do not enjoy riding these tires on pavement. The first problem is the noise. They make a lot of whine. It's the knobby pattern just whines a lot, and with the earplugs in, you don't notice it so much, but it even gets so annoying that I end up taking the bike off center a little bit because the whine will drop, just to help break up the monotony of it. It's super annoying. So that's something I really did not enjoy about these tires. The second thing I haven't enjoyed about these tires is the overall profile or shape of the tire. Now, I grew up riding dirt, but I didn't have a lot of experience contrasting dirt and street. So I've never really ridden an enduro bike before or a dual sport bike before last summer. And the profile on these tires is very square, and that's probably pretty normal for a dirt bike tire, but when you go off center, the bike has this feeling of just kind of like abruptness when you turn in. And while you may have more side grip than you'd like to admit or like to try to find or test, this tire does not inspire confidence when you are turning the bike into a corner. Especially when you've been riding, you know, nice street bikes. You get on this bike with these tires, and it's just not a good vibe, y'all. So that's something else I did not enjoy about these tires in general. The third thing I did not like about the Tusk D-Sport tires, and it may not be the tire's fault, is that I was getting a lot of head shake on the DR650 at speeds above 72, 73 miles an hour. Now, when I bought the bike, it was actually lower than that. I was getting about 60 to 62 miles an hour on the way home, and I noticed that if anything upset the front of the bike, I was getting head shake. And it turns out that the PO, he actually ran very low tire pressure in these tires, and so when I raised the tire pressure up to say 25, 26 pounds, which you probably should not do, a lot of that head shake went away up to about 75 miles an hour. And I don't typically ride this bike that fast, but I do need to pass people. There are moments where I want to have a little bit of fun, you know, doing something, and I might not be paying attention to the speedometer, and coming out of a turn or passing somebody and getting a little head wobble on the front of the DR, that is not a good day. So in summary, these tires were just not the best tires for me in the way I ride this bike. If you have a set of Tusk D-Sport tires and you really enjoy them, tell us in the comments. We want to know about it. And also let us know, do you ride your bike very far down curvy roads between your home or wherever you store your bike and wherever you like to ride? Maybe I had a set of dud tires, who knows? So we've established I do not like the Tusk D-Sport tires on the DR650. What to do? Well, I bought these lovely Shinko 705s from Procycle, and I also bought some heavy duty tubes and some new rim straps. And I put the old girl up on a jack and removed the wheels and tires, took them down to the local motorcycle dealership, and $84, and a couple of days later, they called me and told me to pick up my wheels and tires with my brand new Shinko 705s. Now, getting these on and off the bike is not a huge deal. If you've never done it before, do get a friend, do get somebody who's qualified to show you what to do so you do not get overly frustrated and you can safely complete the job. I'm not going to get into any how-to. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube to show you that. The main reason I don't want to cover that is because of legal reasons, and I'm not a mechanic. I'm not qualified to show you. But what I will say is you're going to need a 19 millimeter wrench for the front, and I believe a 23 for the back. And if you're going to use a socket in the front rather than a box-in type wrench, do use a 6-sided socket. The 12-sided on the front axle will give you problems and potentially damage your axles, so don't do that. I got the wheels and tires back from the dealer the day before yesterday, and then I took some time yesterday afternoon when picking up the garage to mount the wheels and tires back on the old girl. And yeah, these are Shinko 705s on a DR650. It's been done plenty of times before, but this is my first, and I'm super pumped. And again, I'm not expecting supermoto type performance, but just something that would be decent to turn with, you know, something that is at least as good maybe as a Honda Africa Twin. I don't know, that bike turned pretty decent for what it was when I had one. So yeah, let's gear up, mount the cameras on the helmet and the motorcycle and go for a spin, and I'll let y'all know what I think. All right, kids and squids, let's see what these little Shinko 705 Korean Wonder tires are all about. Now, before I left the house, I did take a few minutes to do a few things to the DR650. One of them was I moved the handlebars forward a little bit. In my last video, and I'll throw the link up right now, I said the handlebars were a smidge too close for standing up. Yeah, that is a lot better. Wow, way better. The controls feel better too, so maybe I don't need to adjust this. I had said also in the previous video I needed to adjust this little control housing right here on the left, but maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine enough anyway. I also swapped out the secondary air filter on the bike, and that was because I've had some surging issues. And I thought maybe it could be related to the secondary air filter, and it does feel better, the surging. Still there. It's mainly, let's see where it's at. So we're completely off throttle, we're on. It's right there. That low throttle, we'll say 1/4 of the way open position. When you get on it, it's fine. Now, initially I thought it could have been that secondary air filter, but now I'm thinking it's probably the float bowl height. To be fair and honest, I did not have a float bowl calibration measurement tool when I measured the float bowl height and changed it. Probably should have left the float bowl height alone. I did order the tool before I left the house. It was 20 bucks on Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description if anybody's interested. Hopefully, adjusting the float bowl height will solve the part throttle uneasiness or surging. And if anybody has any ideas on how to address that, that is not related to that, put it in the comments below. I'd really love to hear from you because I need some ideas. I am using the Procycle Jet Kit, the Breathe Easy kit. I have cut out the top of the airbox as instructed. I'm using the 150 jet. I'm about 800 feet above sea level on average. Now I want to pull over up here and get some ethanol-free gas, which is the whole reason I came this way. Oh, they don't have ethanol-free at this pump, but they do at that pump. Costs about as much as, or actually costs 10 cents more than premium. Check out the vibrant art community Barrio Logan, rooted in Chicano history. There we go. Getting this gas cap on this bike is always a bit of a trick. One of the things I don't like about the Acerbis tank. Let's reset our trip meter, aka the ASMR fuel gauge. Another thing I've done to the bike today is I installed a Procycle tool tube, which, to be honest with y'all, is pretty much a piece of plumbing hardware scavenged from a hardware store, sold by Procycle. Now look, I'm not casting any aspersions or shade on Procycle here. You pay for your ignorance, folks. But it's a huge tube. It gives you so much more space. I'm probably guesstimating
at least 3x in volume. And I couldn't figure out before I put it on how that was going to fit back there, but it's quite simple. They just stick it out the back on the left side, kind of like the muffler on the right. But let's talk about the tires. That's why we're here today. So first off, that off-center falling feeling you got with the Tusk D-Sport tires, they it's gone. Thank God. This thing feels really nice on the turn-in with really slow turns. That was always kind of a trick before, that kind of turn right there, just a gentle turn with the Tusk D-Sports. You would tilt the bike over on its side just a little bit, and it was very abrupt, and you kind of ended up, you know, making these abrupt movements, which was not good. Well, I was hoping to hit some turns on this road without a bunch of big dumb cars in the way, but not gonna happen, is it? But that is way better, y'all, than the Tusk tires. So if you ride on the street a lot, but you still want a little bit of off-road capability, these may be your tires. Unless I hate them off-road, they're definitely going to be my tires. This is way better. Oh yeah. Gosh, I wish this car wasn't in the way. I wasn't going to do any more curvy roads, but let's see how she does for just a few minutes. This road has some nice curves. This is pretty much my official test road near the house. You have to be careful about driveways and gravel. Alright, well, one thing I just noticed, now that I can tell what's the tire and what's the chassis, going into a turn where there's a bump, the bike doesn't have enough dampening and you get this kind of oscillation. That's not the tire's fault. That is definitely the soft suspension's fault. Yeah, tires feel real nice. I'd have no problem riding this on a trip. This is such a big improvement from the Tusk tires. The old girl is actually a lot of fun back here. I mean, it's not a crotch rocket, but you know, you can have a good time. This is way, 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 way better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, well that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to test on the back roads. Let's go test for head shake. Alright kids, let's test for head shake. We're gonna make a right here. And then we're going to accelerate up to the recommended speed for this state highway. Here we go. Let's get around this guy. Oh yeah, well, we're about 10 miles an hour above where I used to get head shake, and there's no more head shake. That is a lovely, lovely thing. So y'all, I think that pretty much wraps up my street test of these tires. Did it accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? Yeah, oh yeah. So for starters, they feel so much better. than they did before. The turn-in is smoother. You can hold the line in the corner without correcting it. Second off, there's no head shake, which is awesome. They roll really, really smooth. There's no tire whine or tire noise of any significance to speak of that you could hear over the wind, which wasn't the case before. Before that, I felt like the tire whine was worse than the wind. It's gone. Completely gone. So all in all, I'd say this is a B plus to A mod on the bike. I mean, they're not the best tires, but they're great. For the money, they're real great. So if you like this video and you found it useful, please smash that like button. Boom. If you want to hear more about the DR650, maybe a BMW R9T, or perhaps a Kawasaki ZX4R, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, y'all, keep it shiny side up and ride safe out there.